Welcome to day 6 of my 10-day bike trip series exploring the shores of Lake Huron and Lake Simcoe in Ontario, Canada. In this segment I'll be riding from Sauble Falls Provincial Park down to the town of Kincardine. So today is Wednesday, July 25th, 2018, and I woke up at around 7:15 at my campsite. I quickly got everything packed up and loaded onto my bike, and I was on the road by 8:30. I headed south along the Sauble Falls Parkway, then turned right onto Sauble Falls Rd. This road follows the Sauble River down to its mouth on Lake Huron. When I reached Lake Huron, the name of the road changes to Lakeshore Blvd North. This area is known as Sauble Beach. The sandy beach here spans a total of 11 kilometers, and it's said to be the second longest freshwater beach in Canada. So it's not quite as long as Sauble Beach, which I passed back on day 4 of this trip. The beginning of my route today is identical to the route I took back on my 2014 bike trip to Tobermory and back. On that trip I made a brief stop at Sauble Beach for a photo. When I reached Main Street I turned left and jogged over to continue following the shoreline on 2nd Avenue South. Most of the buildings near Sauble Beach are summer homes and cottages, which means that Sauble Beach has a relatively low year-round population. A large part of the southern end of Sauble Beach where I'm riding now is on land which belongs to the Saugeen First Nation. The owners of the cottages and houses built on this land lease their land plots from this indigenous body. The time is now around 9:30 and I'm feeling pretty hot and sweaty. The temperature is only about 22 degrees Celsius, but the relative humidity is extremely high, so the humidex temperature is actually 29 degrees Celsius. I've now entered the municipality of Saugeen Shores, and I'm approaching the community of Southampton. Just off the shore of Southampton is Chantry Island, which is a migratory bird sanctuary. It's also home of the Chantry Lighthouse, which was built in 1859. The community of Southampton was built at the mouth of the Saugeen River, which I'm just crossing over now. Southampton was first settled in 1848 and has a population of less than 4,000. Erected in 1910, this red brick building is Southampton Town Hall. I made a right turn onto High Street and headed down towards the shore. High Street's a nice retail strip with lots of little shops and diagonal parking spots. You may have expected the name Southampton would be two separate words, as in Southampton, but it's actually Southampton, all one word. When I got to Huron Street, I turned left and headed southwest, following the shoreline of Lake Huron. This is a common cycling route with a bike lane in some parts and a multi-use path in others. So far today the sky looks very blue, and so does the water below it. The highway which connects together all of these communities along this shoreline of Lake Huron is Highway 21, which is also known as the Blue Water Highway. From my experience today, that name seems very appropriate. Looking back behind me out to shore, I can still see Chantry Island. Further up the shoreline I can see a wind farm in the distance. I'm thoroughly enjoying this lovely waterfront path. This vehicle here is the SS trolley. The SS stands for Saugeen Shores, and throughout the summer it does tours back and forth between Port Elgin and Southampton, the two main communities of Saugeen Shores. Speaking of Port Elgin, I've now entered the community of Port Elgin, which has a population of just less than 8,000. Port Elgin has a nice harbour with lots of boats. I headed west along Market Street towards Port Elgin's main street. The time is now around 10:30 a.m. and I made a right turn onto Goderich Street. It's still kind of early to stop for lunch, but I won't be passing through any other towns until I get to Kincardine, so I decided to stop for a light lunch at a place called JC's Just Good Food. I grabbed a seat at the table right near the front window and ordered a breakfast wrap, which was tasty. Conveniently, Wednesday is the day of the Port Elgin Farmers Market, so I stopped and grabbed a few things to bring to my cousin and family as a thank you for hosting me at their house tonight. On my way out of town, I passed by the Maple Square Mall, which was once a high school, but now serves as a retail mall, which also contains an elementary school as well as apartment units. The south end of Port Elgin has the large chain stores like Walmart and Canadian Tire. When I reached County Road 25, I made a right turn and headed west towards the shoreline. I made a left turn when I reached Bruce Road 33, which took me in the southwest direction. Over on the right is the entrance to MacGregor Point Provincial Park, which is one of the places I camped on my 2014 Tobermory bike trip. I also went yurting with my family at MacGregor Point back in the winter of 2013. The time is now around 11:30 and it's completely blue with not a cloud in the sky. The temperature is still relatively low, but with exceptionally high humidity. Most of the shoreline between Port Elgin and Kincardine is undeveloped, and these roads are really nice and quiet. Over on the right you can see there's a gravel rail trail following a similar path as me. That gravel really isn't suitable for my bike, but the scenery of this road is probably nicer anyway. The route I'm following along these roads is actually part of the Great Lakes Waterfront Trail's signed bike route. Here I'm making a right onto Concession Rd 8, and then a left onto B&C Side Rd. As I'm riding, I'm enjoying listening to a local Port Elgin radio station on my portable AM/FM radio. The main landmark between Port Elgin and Kincardine is the Bruce Nuclear Generating Station. Here you can see some of the electrical transmission lines leading from it. The plant is currently the largest operating nuclear generating facility in the world. The total electricity output in 2017 was 49 terawatt hours, which equals 34% of Ontario's annual electricity demand. The facility occupies an enormous 2,300-acre site. This power station is also the largest employment center in Bruce County, employing nearly 4,000 workers. I imagine these roads I'm riding on would be a lot less quiet if I was riding through here during the morning or afternoon rush when all the employees are commuting to work. Just beyond the power station is Huron Provincial Park. I'm still about 16 kilometers from the community of Kincardine, but I've actually already been riding within the municipality of Kincardine for the last 45 minutes. The municipality of Kincardine has a population of about 11,000. The road I'm on here is called Victoria Street and it follows the shoreline. This road eventually comes to a dead-end gate where motor vehicles can't pass through, but there's a path where cyclists and pedestrians can get around. My guess is that the gate was put there to prevent traffic infiltration through the residential neighborhood and force through traffic to instead use Bruce County Road 23, where I'm riding now. This road is considerably more busy for riding on, but the Kincardine Trails Association is actually fundraising to fill in this gap with a parallel multi-use path. The time is now around 1 p.m. as I'm entering the community of Kincardine. Tonight I won't be staying at a campground and will instead be staying in Kincardine with my cousin Patrick and his family. I'm quite a bit ahead of schedule and I have a feeling it's nap time right now for Patrick's 2 young children, which I don't want to disturb. So rather than proceeding directly to their house, I'll instead go and explore the sights of Kincardine first. The road that I came into town on becomes Queen Street, which is Kincardine's main street. Having had family living in Kincardine for the past 20 years, I've visited many times and have always been really fond of this beautiful small town. Kincardine was first settled in 1848 at the mouth of the Penetangore River. It has a really nice, well-preserved old historic downtown with lots of little independent shops and restaurants. The community of Kincardine has a population of just less than 7,000. I decided to stop for a quick snack at Queen's Lookout. With its northwest-facing shore on Lake Huron, Kincardine is known for having beautiful sunsets all year round. The water body in the foreground here is the Penetangore River. The reason the water is looking kind of brown today is because all the rain that's fallen within the last 24 hours. After that, I rode up to Princess Street where my aunt and uncle live in one of the old historic houses. They're actually away on vacation this week, so I won't be able to visit them, but it's still nice to ride down their street. After that, I decided to ride down towards the lake. This street here with interlocking brick is Harbour Street. The yellow building up ahead on the right is called Walker House. It was built in 1850 and it's the oldest building in town. Further down Harbour Street you can see the very blue-looking waters of Lake Huron. Down at the harbour you can see the Kincardine Lighthouse, built in 1881. On evenings in the summer, members of the Kincardine Pipe Band take turns playing bagpipes from atop the lighthouse, commemorating the legend of the Phantom Piper. I decided to ride my bike out to the end of the pier. This gives a really nice view looking back at the town from out on the water. I have many fond memories from my childhood coming and swimming here with my cousins. It's nice and clear today, so looking north I'm able to see the Bruce Nuclear Generating Station that I rode past earlier. Behind me out in the water you can see the breakwall for the harbour. This piece of equipment out here on the pier is used for monitoring the water level of the lake. I'm now following the shoreline up towards my cousin Patrick's house. It's still only about 1:30, but hopefully if I enter the house quietly I won't be disturbing nap time for the 2 young kids. Their street is currently under construction, so it's good that I entered from this direction. I had a quiet visit with Patrick, and then Ellis, who's 1.5, was the first to emerge from nap time. Shortly afterwards, Ellis's 3-year-old brother Jasper woke up and showed me his Water Wow coloring book.
Gently.
Oh wow.
Just really gently.
What's that?
A dinosaur egg.
These books use a special kind of material which changes colors when it gets wet, and they can be used over and over again. I also decided to take this opportunity to wash all of my laundry from the last 4 days. It's nice to be able to use the washing machine as opposed to hand washing everything, but I still decided to air dry my clothes rather than using the dryer. When I stopped at the farmer's market in Port Elgin, I bought homemade gingerbread cookies for both of the kids. You leaving his head to the last? Yeah. Jasper also showed me his collection of books. Do you have a favorite book?
Sometimes I can't even choose the good one. ones.
Their house is really close to the lake, so I decided to go and check out the beach. When Patrick and his wife Kristen first moved to this house, their shoreline was really shallow and marshy, but over the years it's gradually changed into a nice beach. I couldn't help but go for a quick swim. This is my first dip in Lake Huron since swimming at Craigleith 2 days ago. The water here feels much warmer. We were invited for a barbecue dinner at Patrick's friend Joe's house. I had a nice burger with bean salad and fries. For dessert we had strawberry shortcake. Thank you to Joe and his wife Lindsay for the delicious dinner. After we got back to the house, Kristen and I went for a sunset paddleboarding ride while Patrick put the kids to bed. We went out and did a loop around the breakwall, and then headed inland to the beach where there was an outdoor concert before returning back to the house. After we got back, the three of us played a round of the Ticket to Ride board game Europe Edition before getting ready for bed. This will certainly be my most comfortable campsite of the trip. I want to give a huge thank you to Patrick and Kristen for their generous hospitality. Spending time with them and the kids has really been a highlight of the trip. So today I traveled a total of 81 kilometers from Sauble Falls Provincial Park to Kincardine. Stay tuned for the next installment in this video series, where tomorrow I'll continue riding along the shoreline of Lake Huron to Point Farms Provincial Park, which is just outside the town of Goderich. I hope you enjoyed joining me on this leg of the journey. Please leave a comment below and let me know what you thought, and thanks for watching.